Hi, my name is Carl. I've been an entrepreneur for all my life, but today I will speak about IoT, or Internet of Things, and how this will change your life, simplify your life, and help you to live a smarter life, but also how this will change the city you live in, or even the country you live in. So let's get started. So we'll start with talking about IoT and how this will change the way we live our lives, and also how this will dramatically change the retail industry and how e-commerce operate. But before getting started, I think we should address the question, what is IoT? Even though you see IoT in articles almost every day being mentioned and more or less everybody's talking about it, it's not obvious that everybody have the same understanding about IoT. We read about IoT in the news almost every day and we hear people talking about it, but how will IoT actually help you, and what is it? I want to make sure that you all follow me during this brief presentation and that we have a mutual understanding about what we're actually talking about. So at first, let's go through this together. So an IoT device is a limited purpose device. Let's call it a sensor that records and tracks different things and then transfer that to another device. It could be to another IoT device, but also to your smartphone or to a cloud. The data is then collected and analyzed. The analyze will then result in a prediction about how things should be in the next step. So let's take that step by step and go through it together. Let's take the first step. You wake up in the morning. The devices in your home records that you have woken up. It could be from your alarm clock, but also from perhaps a sleeping tracker in your bed and movements in the room, both by analyzing the noise in the room, but also from the actual movements. These sensors can then transfer their data to other devices, such as your shower that could be prepared for your preferred temperature, depending on who's actually waking up. You can also have the room prepared in a preferable humidity and heat, so that when you enter the bathroom or the kitchen or your wardrobe even, you know that it's exactly how you prefer it to be. And of course, your coffee is already prepared and poured up for you so that you don't have to stand there and waste time looking at the coffee machine. And that's just in the wake-up sequence. As your house, your home, your Internet of Things devices records your movements, we also see that you're getting ready to go to work, and the car can be moved from the garage. As the day goes by, obviously there's many different interaction points where we can get some help, but if we look at a monthly schedule instead, perhaps we can see the garment that you're wearing and how many times that particular shirt have been washed, so that when it's getting worn out prior to this, we can get a suggestion of the same shirt being on sale at some store perhaps, and other similar shirts that might fit your style now when your shirt is about to be worn out. Many things like this that help us with our daily life on the things that we might find time-consuming and perhaps not things that we need to attend to as much as we do today. As we left our house, the house can be put on standby mode. You don't need the ventilation going on, you don't need the AC, you don't need the heating and so on. All the lights will obviously be turned off, and the house will go into a state where it's conserving energy instead of wasting energy. But at the same time, your home can start preparing for other activities. Like, for example, when you get back home, you probably want to eat some dinner, and your home can check what groceries you have in your kitchen to prepare a set of recipes that you can take action on your way home. Or the house can notify you that if you want to eat this particular course tonight, then you need to buy these groceries as well. Would you like me to prepare this purchase for you so that these groceries actually are in your home or in your car as you go home, delivered by your grocery store? All these things that we can automate to help you live an easier life is what we look forward to. I think all of us would enjoy having to attend to less of these non-critical things. Are you ready? Or do you have a disaster plan? Because your customers are ready. They just don't know it yet. And your competitors, they are already challenging you, even though you don't know it yet. Because the competition is not what you think it is. The competition is not the large companies that you used to see as your competitors. The competition are the smaller startup companies that are fast, creative, innovative, and that solves real problems. Real problems that they have experienced. Problems that you might not even think about because it's something outside of your comfort zone. Even though you know about the competition, you're being held back. You're held back by being a large organization, by your limitations within your organization, where you operate on specific models and you operate in a hierarchy that limits creativity and an open mind. These smaller companies, startup companies, they can easily outsmart you in this new technology movement where they take market shares from you even though you don't see it. They position themselves to be closer to the consumer, closer than you have ever been, because they are already communicating with the consumers. They are the consumers. Is that they have the ability to work globally from day one. They have the ability to don't have to make a profit from day one because they have the gut feeling that this is the right thing to do. They put their soul into the work. They are not driven by money. They are driven by change, by an attitude to make a difference. Of course, all companies need to make a profit at some time. The startups understand this customer segment, the segment that you have yet been able to tap into, because they're defining this segment. They're building up a new customer segment. And they're meeting the customer on their terms, creating smart, small devices to simplify their life, that help them in their everyday situations. So let's take a look at how we can help you guys to get back on track and not be outmaneuvered by the small challengers. To make this happen, you need to understand that consumer expectations will change dramatically, and expectations will increase on customer awareness. The customers will expect that you know more about them than they actually know about themselves, based on these tiny devices, these sensors that will tell both you and the stores and the companies that there are multiple data sets that are open to be used. So you need to make use of these data sets. You need to understand how to make use of it, and you need to make sure that the way you use it will actually help the consumer. The because these datasets are the untold requirements. This is the consumer screaming out loud about what they need, what they want, and what they don't have. So if we look at this from a broader perspective, there is a possibility to take a strategic position here. I've seen it several times before, and I can tell you it's really interesting if you make it work in the way that you can. If we look at Ireland, for example, they really focused on building up an environment that was startup friendly, that was tech friendly. So they decreased the tax for companies that chose to move their head office. And by doing so, created an entirely new market in this small country and opened up endless possibilities for the people growing up there or moving there. Taking a position on renewable energy, making sure that they will become the leading country in the world on renewable energy. Becoming a market leader in this segment will position them in one of the best places they can be for the future, as long as we can foresee anyhow. IoT is already something that's become a way of life. Even though your smartphone might not be an IoT device, it's full of sensors that help you. These sensors help you understand yourself. You know how many steps you take every day, you can check your heart rate, you can check your vital health, and you can connect other devices to your smartphone. Today, making a phone call is something that we see as obvious. We just pick up our phone from our pocket and make that phone call. But it's not that long ago that we didn't have cell phones. Today we have cell phones with much more capacity than we could imagine. But in the future, we don't know yet what use you can have of all the sensors. But enabling the possibility of actually tracking these different sensor data enables me as a consumer to improve my life in the future. I'm ready to get started right now to actually track as much as possible in my life, but I want to do it for me. I want to make sure that the way other people use my data is secure. The country that chooses to focus on IoT for the future will find many interesting opportunities and open up for new opportunities. This will create synergy effects where a connected world enables us to work together in ways we couldn't think of before. But by creating this hub or this environment where IoT companies feel that they can explore and expand in a easier way, you as a country can also influence people around the world and make them understand that by working physically closer to each other type of interactions are also opened up. Because still we feel that the personal meeting is of great importance. Still we feel that the personal meeting is of great importance. And this meeting itself is not something that we can do over a video link yet. But by collaborating closer with your competitors or companies that are building products similar to your or products that could complement your product, you will actually find something really interesting. You will see that as you talk together and work together, there's a gap between you and this other company. This gap could also become solved by you guys together. This is why I chose this picture, where 1 + 1 actually equals 3. Because one company plus one company together will find a way to smoothen this gap and to improve the way you work together by solving another problem. Some time ago, we talked a lot about the connected world. It's not that long ago, but nowadays we don't talk that much about the connected world any longer. The connected world is where we live. It's a reality today. It's what we have been doing for a long time. And as long as we are connected, we're happy. But at the minute when we're disconnected, when we jump on a flight or where we are in an area where the cellular connection is low, we feel that we lack intel, we lack data, we lack information about whatever it is that we need to know right there and then. IoT will also work in a similar way. The devices might not be connected at all time, but they will collect data at all time. This amount of data that we collect that is a growing mass is now soon becoming a mountain. And this mountain is just growing and growing. Because imagine the data process that is out there with all these connected devices. Like when you take a photo with your phone, that photo gets an ID connected to your phone, and your phone is purchased with your credit card, and that credit card is connected to you. So everything that is made and produced by you is somehow connected to you. As you buy a ticket with your smartphone, enter the bus knows that you have just entered the bus because it has a Wi-Fi system that you connect to, and all this together creates a great insight in your movements, your expectations, your desire, and how we should treat you as a consumer, what you're looking for, what your aim is, what your goal is, and what you expect from us, the providers. We also collect data about how you drive. If you drive too fast, if you drive slow, if you drive on a red light, and all of that. And this data can be used to help you to get the right car insurance, but also for the insurance company to know if they should actually offer you a car insurance, if they trust that you're a secure driver. So you have to understand that there's a plus and minus that we can adapt to based on the data that we collect and based on the decision that we have to make. Because the more data that is collected on you, the less sudden mishaps you will experience. Like if you drive your car in one particular way compared to another user, maybe your brakes will have to be changed faster than another driver because you're braking more. Or maybe you have a problem with something inside the car, the electricity system, then the car could actually analyze and realize this before you get a sudden mishap and for example, miss your morning appointment. There's tons of things that are good in this, and we just need to present these really life-changing moments for the consumers so that they understand the positive sides of it. To show that you are a leader of change, a leader of the future, and a leader of IoT, the way to start is not to push consumers by making use of existing IoT products. I would suggest that the city starts showing the true use of IoT by enabling them in the infrastructure where it's easier to see and show what true result IoT can bring. Because if you scale up and use the IoT devices in your city, the amount of data that you collect will faster show a great result. Based on the outcome of these implementations, show the positive result. As people see the positive result given on the larger scale implementation, it's far easier to take the reasonable decision to make use of IoT in everyday life. As people see the positive result on a larger scale implementation, it's far easier and reasonable decision to make use of IoT in our everyday life. If the government show and act as an early adopter, the consumer will follow as they now follow the mass rather than standing out in the crowd, removing the drama and futuristic touch connected to IoT, so that every person can feel confident in moving to a smarter life. The faster you get the late majority to adapt, the faster you will force the everyday use.